We're up on this nice tight roof today for a no heat call. It's starting to get into heating season, so instead of sweating my ass on the roof, I'm going to be freezing my ass on the roof. Nice and pretty tight roof here. Pretty tight placement of units too. These are replacement units. You can tell by the curb adapters here. And they are that close together. The only problem with that, this is your filter door. You can't get that off. The only way to get it off will be probably to unbolt everything. I'm pretty sure it's the only way that they could do it, just because we're dealing with the curb adapter. So the sun's behind my back, so sorry about the shadow. This is a draft motor here, basically an artificial chimney, so that's working. And we have a Lennox here, and Lennox is pretty self-explanatory here. So you have this little number here. We got 56. Go over to my little chart. 56. Combustion airproof switch is open. Okay, so that's in here. Really? Really? Alright, give me a second to take that door off. Okay, so here's your draft motor, which is running, and here's your airproof switch, which is safety. Which means that if this draft motor isn't moving any air, it's going to shut the unit down. You have this little hose connecting them. So you got one of two problems. Either this is completely dead and just not working, or this hose is either cracked. I know you can't really see it that much because of the sun. Either this hose is cracked, or this little nipple over here could be clogged. So we take it all apart and see if it's clogged. If it's not, then I'll have to replace that switch. I think I have one. I just checked in the truck. I don't have one of those switches. Oh, he's right here, and it is dead. Basically, it's just a bellows inside, and the air movement from the draft motor creates a little vacuum pressure in this tube, and we'll be able to click that. The older units used a centrifugal switch inside the motor as a sensor to make sure that this motor was spinning. The only problem with that is there's a squirrel cage blade inside there. Those blades rot out and disintegrate. So even though the motor's still good, that blade ain't moving any air, and then the unit's rolled out. So I gotta get one of those. Kind of the beginning of the heating season here, so I haven't really gone through my truck completely. But double check the other side here, just to make sure before we go that far that the heat exchanger is all nice. And it is. A lot of times these will rot out. And they're not obviously rotted out a lot of times. Usually you'll see on these, there's a seam right here. Usually those seams will rot out. But this looks pretty new. This has definitely been replaced. This is not original. This other unit here, this one's down too. Let's see what's going on here. Draft motor's running. Let's see, I don't know if you can see that. It says 59. 59, I think, is gas valve, not energized. Exum. 59. Gas valve sends 3 times, 2-minute demand, check gas valve wiring. So basically it just never fired. Huh. It's pretty clean in there. Motor's newer. That's been replaced, that's the newer ones. Wait a minute. Gas valve shut off. I bet you there's a reason for that. Let's go around the other side. My drill, where I put my drill? Oh, there it is. I'm going to make a bet that this is all rotted out. Let me Just give me a second. I'm going to take this panel off and check that heat exchanger. I bet you it's rotted out. I bet you somebody shut that off for a reason. Yep. There you go. Wonder if that's rotted out. That's completely gone. That is toast. Yeah, it's cracked right on the end. Here's the whole crack coming down. This one's popped on the end. This one here, sorry about the lighting, but I got the sun right behind me, so the camera's freaking out. This one's cracked right here. The rest of them look relatively intact. Surprisingly, it's just those ones at the end. So they need a new heat exchanger. This is all one piece, and on the Lennoxes, this whole section slides out the other side. You just take all the controls out, push it out, call it a day. The good thing is, though, I can steal the vacuum switch off of this one and put it in that one. At least give them something. I'm gonna go do that. Okay, so I replaced that with the one that was in the other unit again. Sorry for the sun here. It's right at my back, and my camera don't like it. But we'll start this up. Try to block as much sun as I can here. We'll start this up, and you should hear a buzz and then see flames. Hopefully not shooting out at you. The back cover for the heat exchanger is still off because that's going to burn off any stuff that is collected over the spring. So rather than push all that crap into the building, we'll let it vent on the roof. A lot of times too is especially on first startups, it'll smoke and you'll have a tendency to set fire alarms off. If you just block the supply duct out of the unit with a piece of cardboard and just let it vent on the roof, then you won't have to talk to the fire department. Okay, let's turn this back on. There's a quick delay, and then that draft motor should start up. Pre-purge, and you should hear a click and a buzz, and then you see flames. Hit the click, hit the buzz, hit the flame. That right down there is your flame sensor, all the way at the last tube. A lot of times with these units, I don't know if I can get a good picture of it. See that little flame on the edge? That's what lights each successive burner. So in other words, you got a little flame on the end, the main and the tube. That's the blower that just kicked on. And then that progressively travels down these little slots here and lights each one of them. A lot of times you get them clogged. You have to take this all apart, scrub it with a wire brush. And a lot of times too, you can tell a cracked heat exchanger, like a small crack, is when the blower kicks on, these flames will do what's called rolling out. In other words, the air will actually go inside those tubes and force the flames out this way. That's what this is. This is safety. This heats up, it shuts the unit down. And this is it's non-automatic. It's a manual reset. So that way, a service tech has to come in here and physically press this to restart it. You can't just go downstairs, shut the breaker off, turn it back on to reset it. And a lot of times too, you'll see you'll be able to tell if there's a small crack. If you see a lot of orange in the flames, you're always going to see some orange. Like you get a few flicks here and there on these flames when you look right in, like those little flecks. that's fine. But if you see it's not nice and blue, like a blue tone, you see a lot of orange in there. You have air in that tube. That's what's making that flame orange. Around the other side here. And we're blowing out nice and warm, so at least I got heat in the building. That unit right here, which I think this is bigger than this, I think this is a 150. LGA, 150. So this is bigger. That's a 10 ton, this is 12. Yeah. So like I said, this whole thing is part of the heat exchanger. This whole metal wall looking thing back here, what happens is this burner rack here comes out, this draft motor comes out, and this metal shroud here that all these tubes are hooked in comes out. And then this whole section here is about probably about 12-15 screws around the perimeter, and its entire heat exchanger slides out towards you. It's a hell of a lot easier to change than the carriers and stuff that are shoved in there sideways, and they're like 2 or 3 pieces that get sandwiched together. This is all one piece. So that's pretty much it for this job. I'm gonna be buttoning that unit up and let the customer know what's going on. Figured you guys would like this one. I was tracking some electrical back, and so there's my service drop. I can see it comes down and it goes to this wood box. So I figured panels gotta be behind here. Look at this nightmare. Well, it gets better. Yeah. What an absolute rat's nest of everything and anything. And here's your wire tray with all your service drop in, and your burn Ds flying out everywhere. And that's a main for something. There's a disconnect for an AC unit. There's another disconnect for an AC unit. Oh, there's some more service entrance cable. I wonder where that's going. Oh, wait, can't get in that one. That one's screwed. The panel's screwed on. Oh, never mind. I don't know if you see that. It just ends. Oh, man. I really hope that is not backfit from anything. That would really suck and ruin somebody's day hardcore. Oh, even better. Knife fuses. These 100 amp fuses. Well, so much for finding breakers. I will be closing this up and not sticking my hand in there. I'll find another way to shut the unit off. Hopefully that disconnect that looks like it's 9,000 years old on the roof works. We'll find out. I'm driving Duke Quincy right now. So I figured I'd tell you something. This is why you don't mess with Massachusetts. Because if I can get a good picture of it when I go over the bridge. We got battleships. Actually, that's a cruiser. The battleships are down in Fall River, and we're going over the Four Rivers Bridge, which is a permanent friggin' temporary bridge here. This whole section lifts up, and all these things are little panels. I hate this bridge with absolute passion. But we're heading down here for the most important part of the day, lunch. I just have to point this place out for anybody that doesn't know that it's down here, but we're down here in what used to be, I believe, the Hingham Shipyards. It's now like a shopping plaza in Marina, and the Wahlbergs have 2 restaurants down there. One of the brothers, who I don't know his name, opened up 2 restaurants. One, an actual sit-down Italian restaurant called Alma Nova, which I haven't tried, and a burger place called Wahlburgers, which is fucking awesome. I've never really been a huge fan, at least growing up, of the Wahlbergs. I mean, I was never a teenage girl, so Donnie Wahlberg and, New Kids on the Block never really did anything for me, and I didn't start liking Marky Mark until he shed the Funky Bunch and became an actor. So, but this is deliciousness. You gotta have onion rings, right? Onion rings, and then one of the best burgers I have ever had in my life. Can't you just hear those arteries clogging right now? And of course, you gotta have a lemonade. But oh, so good. This is gonna come back to haunt me later, but it'll be worth it. Order to see if I have one in the shop.